Good morning. I hope you guys are having an excellent morning. All right, we're up, we're ready, and we're ready to go. Okay, so this morning, we're going to talk about being tested and how we should expect to be tested. Expect it, right? Yeah. So we're going to get into it. And before we really dive deep, I want to just set the stage for it because there's a specific verse that says exactly that. That lets us know. And so y'all are going to keep hearing me say this, right? That it is so crazy to me. I mean, it I don't know. It has me in awe of just how on point the Bible will be. And we'll talk about the same things that we're currently going through, the things that we will have to grow through, the things that will be coming, the mindset that we should have. My goodness, the Bible is heavy on your mindset. And if we ever had a question of what to do in a certain instance, or thoughts keep coming, or different things are happening and I need to know how to handle it, no, it doesn't specifically say, if you're on the verge of losing your house, then you're supposed to do X. If you don't have enough money to pay for your kid's school, then you're supposed to do this. If someone dies in your family, then you're supposed to do this. No, it doesn't have specifics of what you're supposed to do in certain in specific situations. However, that same mindset, there are different people that are in the Bible. There are different stories that they've gone through things. And like I've said before, we all experience the same stuff. So you get down to the root of it. Okay, if I'm not able to pay my kids' school or my mortgage, what am I facing here? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Am I worried? Am I doubtful? Those are the things. So the underlying feelings that you're having, then we're saying, okay, well, look, I know that has happened to someone in the Bible. I know that there are specific stories about this in the Bible, and I can take the mentality that they have and I can adopt that same thing. So that's the part that blows my mind. It's just the things that I am learning other places and reading about other places. I can then come back, and I've said this before, I can then come back and it correlates directly with the Bible. And I can see how people, during that time would go through the same stuff, the same feelings, the same worries, the same doubts. They had all of the same. Like, we're all one and the same. Nobody is better than the other. So we are all experiencing at some level those feelings. Okay? The only difference that it is, and well, the only thing that separates people, is that mindset is, okay, I can face, not being able to pay my mortgage, and you can face not being able to pay your mortgage. But then you have a different mindset about it of where, oh, shucks, this is really got it. I don't know where this is going to come from. Oh my goodness, like, this is really eating me up. I'm not able to get sleep. I'm not able to do this. Like, I can't even focus. My mind, I got headaches, of where it takes a toll on you. And then I could very well be in that same situation. And I'm like, this situation hurts. It's uncomfortable. I don't want to be here, but there's a reason why I'm here. And I'm going to take it, even though I can't see it right now. Even though I don't know what that specific reason is, I can trust God in knowing that there is a reason for my pain. And then that's it. So y'all, that was just an example too, by the way, because I haven't reached that point yet. I'm still very much on my journey, right? But yeah, so we all experience the same thing. So when you're going through those things and when we have those thoughts, or when we just can't seem to get out of it, realize that you're not the only person who deals with this. It's not just you. And there is no shame in what you're feeling. There's no shame in you doubting. There's no shame in you worrying. There's no shame that these things come in your mind. The thing is that, and I'll talk about this, is that you can't always protect your mind, right? And just shut it off, or where you're like, no, no bad thoughts are going to enter my mind, and I am going to have full control of what comes in here, and that's it. Like, I am not going to doubt. I am not going to worry. I'm not going to sit there and look in the mirror at myself and be like, oh, girl, you need to lose weight. I am not going to do any of that stuff because I have full control of my mind. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. You know, the majority of people, okay, because there may be some outliers that can just control everything, but I have yet to meet them. Okay, if you guys know of them, let me know, because I need to train under them. But as far as I know, the majority of people, it's not where you can just block everything out and you're just, nothing seeps into your mind. The thing is that when those things seep into your mind, it's okay. Like I said, it's no shame. You are thinking and you are experiencing the same things that other people are. The only thing that separates us is what you do when those thoughts enter. Do you allow those thoughts to enter and take you for a ride where you don't want to go? Or do you allow those thoughts to enter and say, honey, thank you for visiting, but you are not welcome. You can go. Bye-bye. See ya. Don't even let them in the door of where, they can come up to your house. They can be looking in your house. They might even cross the threshold. But after that, it's like, all right, you've seen what you need to see. You can go. You can go. So it's how you handle those things. And I mean, so that's important. We've got to be mindful of what is entering into our minds, and not where we're on the side of where we're judging what is entering in. So, because I've been there of where I'm like, why am I even feeling like this? Why am I thinking like this? Oh my gosh, this always happens. And that takes you down a rabbit hole that you don't want to go to either. So you shaming yourself and you judging yourself for what you're rightfully feeling, it's not going to do anything positive. So what we should learn to do is observe from a non-judgmental standpoint, of where we aren't biased, of where we're just allowing these thoughts. And that's one of the cues of meditation, right? And I'm still trying to get on that train. I've noticed, even when I'm doing my meditation and I'm in that stillness, honey, my mind just goes from poop, 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 poop. It's just like, oh my gosh, man. And I'm now able to step from a non-judgmental point of view, and I can see the things that are just going through my mind, just shooting. And at first, it kind of blew me away. I'm just like, it worried me a little bit, because I'm like, okay, so this is what is happening on a daily basis. My mind is all over the place, and I have thoughts that are just everywhere. What I need to do, what I need to wear. Oh my goodness, I need to get my kids doing this. Oh my gosh, I failed at this. Oh man, I need to do this. And it's just like, it's bad thoughts, good thoughts. It's like all mixed and muddled together. And I'm like, no wonder why I experience anxiety. It's because I got my mind is going a mile a minute and I cannot keep up with it. And these thoughts, it's not where I would sit there and have all these thoughts and they just come and I'm like, okay, you're here. I I see you. Bye-bye. Okay, I see you. Bye-bye. Okay, you're a good thought. You can come. I'm not doing that. What I would do, I would give validation to every thought that entered into my mind because I thought that because I am thinking it and because some of it could, could very well be true, right? So let's just say, for instance, the inability to pay the mortgage, since I've been using that example. Um, when you have that thought of just, oh my goodness, like we really don't have enough money. We don't have enough money. Like, how are we going to pay this mortgage? Oh my goodness. And then it starts being where, man, if we don't pay this mortgage, like that's going to affect my credit. And then if it affects my credit, then what about anything else that we need to buy in the future? What about, how is that going to work? And then I'm going to still have to pay it. So and then I'm going to have double. And then what if I can't continue paying it? And then what is going to happen? Are we going to get kicked out of our house? Or we're not going to have anywhere to live. And then if we don't have anywhere to live, and oh my gosh, you just keep going. So the thing is that yes, you have a valid point. You don't have enough money right now to pay your mortgage. That is a valid point. Could it happen to where you're not able to pay your mortgage and you are late on it and it affects your credit? Sure, that could happen. That's valid. I mean, it happens. But could it also happen that someone randomly sends you a check in the mail? Could it happen that you just wake up and you've got money in your bank account that you didn't see that last night? It wasn't in there. And then today, when I need to pay the mortgage, it's there. Could it also be that you've got random money sitting in your PayPal account? Look, that has happened to me, y'all. Literally. And we had no way to trace where that came from, but we needed it. And when we needed it, it was there. I still have no idea. I know where it came from, but on the transaction sheet, I don't know where it came from because it doesn't say, but it was just there. So at the same time where we could have validity in the negative, there's also validity in the positive. But for some reason, so often we tend to veer towards the negative versus the positive. And we can't keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. So this is why we are here, and this is why we are talking about expecting to be tested, because that's how you get better, right? It's painful. I'm not even gonna lie. It's painful as you're going through the process, but it's a process and it's for you to get better. And the only way that my mindset started to change was that I understood my weakness. And that's key, right? That's key to understand your weakness. You need to be aware of where you are weak, because where you are weak, you are going to be tested. All right? So if y'all got something to write that down. If y'all get anything from this, understand that you need to pay attention and you need to know where you are weak. You need to know and be aware of your weaknesses. But I want to highlight this point that the only way that you know your weaknesses is if you're tested. So it's got to happen. It's got to happen. So I was supposed to be setting the stage though, but I started getting into it. But I want y'all to see this. So we've got 1 Peter 4:12. Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. How many times have we been in this situation and something happens and it's painful and we don't like it and we want to get out of it and it comes as a surprise and we're like, what? Oh my goodness, I didn't. Why does this keep happening? Why is this happening to me? I don't understand this. And we go through all these questions. Honey, it tells you right here, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. And you wouldn't be surprised if you knew where your weaknesses lie. If you knew where those lie, you wouldn't be surprised. It would, oh, there it goes. Clearly, I haven't fully reached where I need to be. And this is testing me. This is growing me. So a while ago, I posted, the deeper you get into your purpose, the more you'll get tested. And I don't know any other time other than now that this has reigned more true. So for me, and also people that I've seen, like the deeper you get into where you're supposed to be and into your calling, and where, of course, as we've been talking about, we're staying close to God. We're staying connected to the source. We're adhering to his word. We've got our ears, we've got our hearts open to his guidance. And what I was thinking is that, okay, in that moment, like the closer that I get to you, it'll be where you're going to guide me. And since you're guiding me and you only want the best for me, that means that I'm going to kind of skip out on these painful things, these things that I don't really want to deal with, because you're guiding me. And so if you can see, what's coming next, and you can see the obstacles and you can see the trials, you can help me avoid them. Right? So I'm like, look, let's get close. And I want to be able to avoid these things. But then I realized it don't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. In fact, and I'm sorry, like maybe this is just me, right? And that's all I can do. I can only speak from my point of view. And I would love to hear y'all's thoughts, because, okay, if there's anything, I want you guys to know, I love learning from people. Yeah, I love hearing different point of views and how God has shown up in other people's lives and how they've gotten through their trials, and the mindset that they are carrying. Like, that's all rich. That's all rich to me. And I feel like we can learn a lot from each other, and we can keep each other out of a lot of mess if only we opened up a bit and were, authentic and vulnerable and allowed ourselves to be vulnerable, right? There is so much strength in vulnerability. And at first I thought that was a weakness. So I tried any and everything to just guard myself and keep it, keep everything that I was feeling inside. It was just like, look, it's not really that big of a deal. Not giving my my feelings any type of validation. And like I said, I would shame myself. So why are you feeling like this? Like, what's the problem? Like, toughen up, get it together. Like, it is what it is. And just carry it that way. Just put things under the rug, put things under the rug, put things under the rug. And after a while, once you keep bottling things up and you're just stuffing, and you're stuffing, at a point, it's going to explode. So give validation to your feelings, right? Like I said, don't shame yourself for how you feel. If you're upset, be upset. Embrace that. If you're angry, embrace it. If you're worried, embrace it. If you're anxious, embrace it. Do the same things. And that's what I'm like, that's what I'm working on, y'all. Like, okay, so this is an aside, but this is what I'm working on because it's been so long that I have not allowed myself to feel. And I've been so hard on myself where it's like if I was on the brink of like breaking down or if I felt like I was going to be in tears, I'm like, no, suck it up. You better not. You know how you talk to your kids? Stop. You better stop it. And you don't really be saying anything. But they know that, oh shucks, once you get that face, they tighten up. So that's what I would be doing to myself, right? It's just like, you better, girl, you better not. You better not. Like, look, you're strong. You can do this. Like, let's, we do not. We don't show our feelings. We do not do that. And that's what I was, that's what I kind of grew up on. It's just like you're a straight face. You got a poker face. And nobody needs to know what you're going through personally. And not only would I not allow people in on what I was going through and how I was feeling, but I wouldn't even console myself. It was just like, suck it up, get over it. And doing that, y'all, do you do that to your kids? And that's what I had to ask myself. When my kids come to me, is it where I'm just like, yo, suck it up. You're bigger than that. Stop it. You better not. Like, you better not. And if they're hurt, there is no way that I'm sitting there talking to them like that. So why would you be hurt? What? So, no, you need to get it together. I am not going to approach my kids with that type of mentality and that aggressiveness. That's not going to happen. If my kids genuinely feel bad or they're emotional about something or they're feeling different things or they're anxious about going to school or they're, feeling a certain type of way because someone said something to them that hurt them, I'm not going to make them feel stupid because they feel that way. No, I'm going to sit there like, sweetie, I understand that you feel that way. I would feel that way too. Those words really hurt. That would hurt me if somebody said that to me. And I'm there and I'm coming to them on their level. And I'm comforting them. And then we have the talks of just like, baby, but you know what? Those words, they don't hold any weight because you're better than that. Because, sweetie, you are beautiful. It doesn't matter what people are saying about you. Look at you. Look at you. You got it going on, girl. This is what I'm saying to my daughter. Why am I not saying that to myself? Why am I not doing that with me? And y'all, like, I had to sit there and think about I'm doing this to myself and I'm not comforting myself and I'm not giving validation to what I'm feeling. I'm just saying, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. How long can you last like that? Can you really be great in that type of environment? You set the stage for your own environment. You set the tone just like you do. You set the tone for your family. You set the tone for your kids. You set the tone for yourself. I read something the other day that said, look, don't sit there and yell at your kids before they go to bed and expect them to have a good night's sleep. Don't sit there and criticize your kids and yell at them before they go to school and think that they're going to have a good day. It doesn't work that way. You set the tone for them and you set the tone for yourself. You cannot sit there and beat yourself over the head and sit there and talk down to yourself and don't allow yourself to feel and really get those emotions out. You can't do that and expect yourself to be great. No, at a point, you are going to become tired. At a point, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm not valued. Imagine if you had a spouse that did that. That every time you wanted to say something, anytime that you wanted to get something off your chest, you're just like, look, I'm really feeling like, what? Shut up. Like, I don't care what you feel. When you coming to me about what you feeling? Girl, bye. With that noise, you always nagging. You're always nagging. If that were the case with everything that you felt, everything that you wanted to get off your chest, everything that you wanted to feel, you wanted to feel validated, you want to feel valued, you want to, like, well, imagine you coming down in your dress and you like, yo, like, what do you think about this? And you feel really good. And then your husband's like, I think you need to lose a little weight. And I see your stomach. And oh my gosh, I see that cellulite right there. Like, oh, honey, I think you need to I think you need to change. Like, that is not, it's not working for you. How would you feel? How would you feel? But yeah, we sit in the mirror and that's exactly what we do. And man, I'm talking to you too. Shoot, you got this fly outfit on and you come to your wife and you're like, yo, look at, check me out. Like, how is this? You like this? And she like, oh my gosh, sweetie, you are getting old. You see those wrinkles in your face? Mm. You ain't what I married before. Mm. How would you feel? But yeah, we do this to ourselves all the time. And we expect us to just be ready to go, ready to perform, ready to be great, ready to do the things that we need to do. And that's just not how it works, y'all. That's just not how it works. So, like I said, I'm on that train, right? So one of the things that why I was able to see that, oh, this is a weakness of mine, is because I kept getting tested. And I would sit there and I wonder, like, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? But instead of asking those questions, just because I'm frustrated in the moment, I actually started examining those things. And the deeper I dug, the more things came out. And I saw that, sheesh, you're not so nice to yourself. Man, you know? So one of the things that I do want to highlight, right, is that we've got, and I'm going to put this up. So Psalm 139, 23 through 24, right? So we've got David, and he's like, this is his prayer. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there is any wicked in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So you've got this man who is asking God, test me. Test me. I want you to know that. Like, what's in here? What's in my heart? What's in me that I can't even see? Can you bring that out? If there are things that aren't in agreement with you and where you're calling me and what you're calling me to do, and that's keeping me from being as effective as possible on my journey, search me. Show me what that is. Show me what it is. Like, I'm open. I'm here. So I want to tell you, it takes a level of I don't even know what the level of is. Like, I'm not going to say it's confidence, because it you don't have to have confidence pretty much to ask that. But a certain level of being able to receive ugliness. That's basically what, no, I don't have the perfect words for that, but that's what it is. Because when I saw this, I would tell you, I saw this and I was like, you know what? That's what I want. I want that. I want you because I'm thinking to myself like I'm pretty good, right? I'm pretty good. I haven't had really any hiccups. And I will tell you that's why I said it's before this even happened, before I went through, before I started going through my process and really opening myself up to this journey of self-awareness and this spiritual journey that I'm on, and really examining the innermost being, of myself. Before I started on this journey, things were pretty easy. Like, and that's, I'm saying that because I am comparing how I feel now to how I felt before I started that journey. And to be honest, it's not fair to compare, because before I still very much was probably going through the same things. I just wasn't aware of what I was going through, and aware of the things that I needed to work on. Those things would just be like, shoot, shoot, because I'm not paying attention. I'm just going through life, right? Just going through. So now I'm very aware of it. Just like, look, so when I bought, uh, what was it? I think it was, I had a Toyota while I was in college. And so it was a blue Toyota, but it was a certain type of blue. Like, it wasn't a dark blue, it wasn't a light blue. It was like this in-between blue that I hadn't really seen in any of those before. Nor had I seen that blue on a Toyota, right? Like, on the same exact car that I had. So I had never seen that type of car before. So I'm like, oh, cool. I got a different type of car. Cool. Yay, yay, yay. And then all of a sudden, I just started seeing the same exact vehicles on the road, the same exact color. And I had never seen those in my life. So I thought. But I was just more aware since I had one. I've seen it. That's in my, in my mind. And so I'm very much more, I'm sensitive to those things, right? So bam, now I'm seeing another one. I'm like, wow, everybody driving these cars. I thought I had something special. Sheesh. That's how it is. So once you start going through this journey, you become more sensitive to different things. Like, you're more aware of, ooh, I'm feeling this way. Why am I feeling this way? Okay, let me examine this. And you're like, wow, I really have a lot of things to work on. That's what happened. So I prayed this prayer. I'm like, Lord, search me, So I'm thinking that it's not a lot that's going to come out. It's just like little stuff, right? Everybody's got something to work on, but I didn't think I had that much. So I'm like, search me. Let me know what's going on. What's good? Tell me what I need to work on, because I know it ain't that much. But I just want you to tell me, just so, I'll know. When I opened that door, honey, I was not ready. I was not prepared for all that came. So I opened that door when I quit my job 4 years ago. And I'm still going through my process. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for all the stuff that was coming. And when I didn't really know what I was asking for. So when I asked about that, stuff just started coming. It was just like, you got to work on patience. You got to work on your self-esteem. You got to work on your confidence. You've got to work on your money issues. You've got to work, like, that was my face. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm not that, ooh. I thought I was together. I'm not as together as I thought I was. Okay. So then I start working through it, I start working through it, and I'm like, okay, all right, because it'll only give you one thing at a time, right? I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it only gives me one thing at a time, because probably I can't handle more than that. If he told me all the things that I needed to work on at one time, I'd have been overwhelmed. I'm like, you know what, take it. I don't even know what to do. I don't know where to start. It's just too much. It's too much. So he knows me. He's like, okay, I'm going to give you one thing at a time. Yes. And I get one direction at a time. That's all I can handle. Even though I want more, he's like, chill. No, we're not doing that. We're not giving you more. So I just wasn't ready. And it came. And I'm sitting here thinking, like I said, I get one thing at a time. So I'm working through that one thing, right? And I'm like, oh, I feel myself getting better. I'm getting better. This is cool. Okay. All right. So that was it. All right. So patience. I'm working on my patience. Yes, I've got kids. Okay. So God, because that was one of the first things. And I didn't have kids at that time. And then boom, I was pregnant. Huh. Yeah. And then my patience, things just started happening. Not even with just my child. It was, things outside of my family, things at work, it was all these things that started testing my patience. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need to work on this. But the more it happened, the better I felt like I was getting. And so then it was like, okay, at a point, I'm like, oh, all right now. I think I'm good. So can we move on? And it's like, and I'm thinking I can move on to where I'm like, okay, now I'm being promoted. Now I'm going to where I am supposed to be going, where I see myself being. And he's like, no, you actually have more stuff to work on. And I would get another thing. Wow, I'm still working on patience now. I still haven't arrived at, no, my patience is still being tested. So I'm working on this thing. Now you're adding something else. And so that's what will happen. Where you start working on this, you start getting a groove on. You're like, okay, all right, I kind of got this. I understand why these things are happening. I can see I'm more keen on my sensitivity to these things, and I'm more aware of when those things are coming and what they're testing my patience. So once you get in the groove of that, then you move on to something else while you're still in your process. So these tests will continue to come. These things will continue to happen. And you shouldn't be surprised by that. You should expect it. Honey, I'm telling you, this time when I got pregnant, right? So I went a little overboard, and this was probably the most unhealthy pregnancy that I've had. Okay. So I was eating bread. I was eating pizza. I was like, whatever I wanted, I was just like, look. And that's what I would tell that was my excuse. I told my husband, are you carrying the baby? Okay. All right. So give me the pizza. Give me the pizza. I'm pregnant. Do you know? Okay. Give me the bread. So that was my thing. So I was like, I am going to enjoy this pregnancy. Okay. I am going to eat whatever I want to eat, and ain't nobody going to tell me nothing. Okay. So now I'm paying for it. Right. So, here I am. I did not work out. Barely worked out during my entire pregnancy, y'all, and this whole thing is like 10 months long. Right. But by the time you figure it out, it's 9 months, but whatever. So in the beginning, I had started, and I was doing stuff. I was working out, and then it just fell off. So I had a good 8 months that I just did nothing. So here I am now. I'm like, ooh, okay. All right. I accept that I did that. And now I've got to pay for it. So I'm working my way back in the gym, right? And so normally I would be under the impression that I could just hop in the gym. And that was when I was a little bit younger. I could just hop in the gym and just start back from where I left off. It didn't matter how long I was gone. It's just like, I just go ahead and start. It's not working like that. So I get in and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick up these weights. And I tried, right, of where I was. Honey, I could not do them. It wasn't happening. So I'm like, oh, I'm a little weaker than what I thought. Okay. So then I had to start at lower weights. And I'm realizing now that, okay, I've got to work myself up to where I was, and even to surpass where I was, I've got to start a little lower. And I'm acknowledging the weakness that I'm having. And I know why I have it. So in the gym, we have this thing of where we know in order to get stronger, we have to start where we are. We have to start, we may have to start at fives, we may have to start at tens, we may have to start at 15s. That's cool. But I know the more I do this, the more I am working out on this level, the better I am becoming, the stronger I'm becoming, the more equipped I am to be able to handle more weight. Honey, that's the same thing in our real life. That's just what it is. So when we're expecting to be tested, so I'm going to the gym, I am expecting the fact that I'm not going to be able to lift those same weights as I did. I mean, just is what it is. And I'm expecting that I'm going to have to start a little lower. And I've got to test myself. I've got to see, that's the only way that I'm aware of that weakness, is that I tested myself. I saw that I was not passing those tests. So I'm like, okay, now we gotta scale it back. We gotta scale it back. That's the same thing. You only know your weaknesses because you are being tested in that area. And if you're aware and you allow yourself to be open and seeing, okay, this is happening. Okay, I'm uncomfortable. I'm understanding these feelings that I'm having. Why am I feeling these things? And what is happening that's making me uncomfortable? And you know what? Why is it making me uncomfortable? If it's where, and I had to examine myself, and we had this conversation, y'all, of where when my husband was quitting his job, I mean, I was uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, he's about to press that button. I was like, oh Lord. Go ahead. It's okay. And I'm feeling this. And then I had to sit there. I started with why. Why are you feeling like this? What is happening in your area that's making you feel worried, that's making you feel anxious, that's making these, I see these lines of doubt. I see these thoughts coming through. Why is it making you so uncomfortable? Oh, there it goes. Because your comfort was in the wrong place. Okay, so how did your comfort get there? Oh, because you fell into the trap. You fell into that same trap. Tina, you knew, you got that money weakness of where you would sit there and find comfort in money. That's what you would do before. And it's coming around again to tap you on the shoulder and make you realize you fell off again. You fell off again. I'm gonna need you to get back on the train. I need you to get back on track. I need you to recognize where your comfort lies. And it does not, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be real. Like, that's all I can be. It did not stop there. So I recognize that because I've become more aware of when I'm being tested and why I'm being tested. And I can funnel those things and see and analyze. But it didn't stop. Okay, so I hop back on the train. I'm like, okay, well, no, you know what? We're good. Go ahead and press that button. We're going to do this. I'm going to handle this. And I understand that my comfort has been, placed in the wrong area. So I'm going to grab that back. I'm going to get back on my train and we're going to be good. And that's just not where it stopped. It continued. So then, like, we've had this conversation, y'all. Right after that, it was like 2 weeks later, our tenants moved out. They moved out. We were left with a mortgage. So we paid 2 mortgages last month. We're doing the same this month. And there we go. We've got it to where before I would have been very uncomfortable at that moment. Like, oh my gosh, like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? Because, like, you're building your business. It's not. So we've got one salary right now. How are we going to do this? And I would have been anxious. I wouldn't have been feeling, this would not have made me feel good. And then to add to that, and that's what I'm saying, things just keep coming, keep testing. Not only did they leave, we are left with $15,000 worth of work that we've got to do to the house to be able to get it back to where it needs to be and be able to rent it out again. Really? $15,000? What? And then not only that, right? So then we go to the dentist, because the thing is that my husband was leaving his job, and we were all under his insurance. So that was one thing. That was a thing for me. I was just like, what? So what are we about to do insurance? We got kids. So I'm like, I'm worried about them. Don't even worry about me. But I'm worried about them. And if we don't have insurance and this and this. So that was one of my pain points. And so we were trying to hurry up and get all our doctor's appointments in, that we could before the insurance expired. And so we went to the dentist. Honey, we like, okay, go ahead. Everything's good. And then we after the appointments, they sit down with us, and we get hit with, so we've got some things that we need to do, and it's going to be like $2,000. And I'm like, what? $2,000? How are we? It's just money is just coming, and it's just being expected. Then we've got work to do on our car. On both vehicles. Both of them need work. And then we have it where a tire not only blew out, it was just done. So we needed more, we needed new tires. So, y'all know that's expensive. And so, honey, it was just so many things that were just hitting. And I'm like, okay. But because I was able to recognize that, okay, my comfort was in the wrong place. Let me get that back. Let me get back on track. That's still one of my weaknesses. When these other things started coming, I'm like, oh, I see you. I know you. You familiar. Mm-hmm. I know what you're doing. Okay. All right. I accept it. And that's how I'm not going crazy right now, y'all. Because I have every right to be crazy right now. But it's cool. It's all good. Because one of the things that I can say and that I can stand on, and I'm going to tell you guys, that no matter what comes your way, no matter how many times you're tested, no matter what you lose during the test, you're going to be restored. Not only not only will you be restored to the fact that you had what you had before, but you'll have more. That's just how it works. That's how it works. So that's the thing that you can focus on during the test. When these things come, I can say, okay, this is only making me better. This is only making me more equipped to be able to serve the people who are assigned to me. This is only building my character. This is only building my strength. This is only, this is only setting me up for a better ending. When this is all said and done, honey, trouble don't last always, right? The sun has to come out at some point. I'm focused on that. I'm like, son, I see you. Behind those clouds, I know it is super cloudy out here. But I know tomorrow might be better. That's what I'm focused on. Not all the stuff that's going on. Money can be funny, right? And that's the thing that I'm realizing. We cannot have our comfort in something that is up, down, over, all over, all wherever. And that's what I'm realizing. But the only reason why I'm realizing this is because all the tests that I've been through and how I'm still being tested. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I want to highlight, I wasn't able to put it all on here because you have a character limit. So it's 1 Corinthians 10:13. Okay. So I am. All right. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. Y'all, you get into this verse. Get into it because one sometimes you may read this or whatever. And I know I have, and you're like temptation automatically, you're just thinking whatever you're thinking. Just like, okay, being tempted to do something, and that's not right. That's not the only thing that it's talking about. So even when you're talking about your thoughts, you're still tempted to give into those things. Your doubt, your worry, your anxieties, you're tempted to feed into those things. And this is something that is, it's, there is no temptation. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm saying it's so like everything correlates. This is what I'm saying. There is no temptation that is not that you are dealing with that nobody else has dealt with. Nothing. Nothing. So then we can sit there and say, I mean, it says it right here. But with that temptation, with that feeling like, okay, I'm feeling like I'm about to give into this. This is overtaking me. This is, I don't know about this. This is, he provides a way out. You have a way out. Just like we said, that there is validity in the negative and the positive. You can choose. It's your choice. He gives you that escape. He gives you that way to be able to relieve it, but it's on you to be able to set the tone. It's on you to be able to say, no, I'm not feeding into this negativity, but I'm feeding into the positivity, because I know just like the negative can happen, the positive can too. And I know that what is good for me and what further strengthens me and allows me to continue to walk effectively in my calling is me being positive about the situations. So that is where I am going to be focused on. I'm expecting positive to come out of this, situation. I am waiting in expectation that God is going to knock my socks off. I don't care what it looks like on the outside. I don't care what my bank account looks like. I don't care what my boss said. I don't care what my kids are doing. I am waiting in expectation that things are going to turn out for good, because I know Romans 8:28 says everything is working out for my good. So no matter how painful it feels, no matter what I feel like it right now, no matter how uncomfortable I am, I know that it's all working out for my good. So I am able to focus on the positive, even though I am surrounded by the negative. That's what it is. There is always a way out of your situation. So I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how much pain it brings. There is purpose in that pain. And you can see it if you open up your eyes, if you become more aware, if you see the reason behind why you're in that position, why you're facing these things, why these things keep happening. And when things keep happening, be aware of that too. Be aware. So just like this money thing, right? Money is it's just happening. It's just happening. It's just happening. I'm understanding that, okay, this is something that I really need to work on. This is something that I really need to be aware of. This is something that I am going to have to conquer to be able to get to where I need to be. And I want to say that again. This is something that I need to conquer to be where I need to be. So if you're noticing a pattern, honey, you're going to need to be strong in that area, because there is somebody that you will be helping. There is somebody that is going to come across your path. There is somebody that is going to be dependent on you to be able to get them out of that same situation. Okay? This stuff that you're going through is not happening for no reason. The things that you're facing is not happening for no reason. There is a reason behind it. You just got to be aware of it and take it and be open to where, I look, I'm not that hot. I don't know it all. And that's okay. I don't know it all, and I accept that. So Lord, work on me and work through me so that I am more effective when I come across those people that you have assigned to me. I don't want anything to hold me back from furthering your kingdom. I don't want anything holding me back from being able to develop other people in the manner in which you want them to be. I don't want that stuff holding me back. So rip me apart, search me, tell me what's going on, show me what's going on, and test me. Test me. Make me stronger. Put me in the gym. Put me in the gym. I may be looking awkward at first. I may be coming home feeling like I'm about to pass out at first. But I know if I keep going and you keep testing me, I'm going to develop that muscle. I'm going to become stronger. I'm going to become more aware. I'm going to become sharper. I'm going to be able to help other people going through the same thing. I'm going to be able to help my children when they go through the same thing. I'm going to be able to help my husband when he goes through the same thing, or my spouse when they go through the same thing. That's all it is. It's a circle, y'all. Everything works. Everything works for the good of us. So I'm going to go to these comments because I've been seeing y'all been lighting me up. And I have not even, y'all know when I get in the zone, I get in the zone. So, oh my gosh, it's been so many I done missed them. Okay, so y'all, good morning. Good morning, good morning. And so, oh, yes, honey, yes, Joe, y'all, if y'all want to think, if y'all ever feel like, man, I'm going through it and I can't do it. I can't do it. Honey, read Job. Read the story of Job. Read it. Get into it and get into what all was being taken from him and what was the testing that he went through. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And I realized I don't have it that bad. I don't have it that bad. But I do want you to know that everything that was taken from him was restored though. Okay? So that is an extraordinary example. Yes, 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 yes. So the struggle is ordained. Honey, there is a reason. There is a reason. So there's validity in the positive. So we've got to be aware of that. No, if I told you you're going to take something, but take that. But know that there is that escape. You don't have to succumb to your feelings in that moment. You don't have to succumb to the thoughts that you have. You can acknowledge them, but still not succumb to them. There's two different things. So we need to be aware of our weaknesses. Where we are weak, we are going to be tested. Y'all know that. Go away with that. Write that down. I need to be aware of my weaknesses. That's where I'm going to be tested. But at the same time, when I'm tested, there is a way out. Focus on the positive. Those are the things that we need to write down. That needs to be a mantra right there. Boom. So then we know exactly when things come, bam, I'm focused on the positive. I know that there's a reason behind this. However, this is painful. I acknowledge it, and I acknowledge the thoughts, and I acknowledge my feelings, but I'm going to focus on the positive. And because I know that this is the escape. This is what God gave me. So this is growing me. Yes, when those tests come, this is growing me. This is what is making me stronger. Testing is inevitable. Yes, yes. Jesus was tested. Yes, this man was tested. So why would we not be tested? Honey, that's how it's going to be. Learning how to be with our feelings. We've got to y'all, get in tune with yourself. Get in tune with yourself. You will learn so much. And for you guys that are on the journey and you're going through the process, honey, I'm with you. I know how it can be. I know how it can be. But get in touch. Get in touch. Okay, Paul teaches us that we should glory in tribulations. Yes, he did, which is hard. So I had a lot of other verses to go through, but maybe I'll just put it in the comments so then you guys can look them up. But I wasn't able to go through every single one because we just got in it. But that is what it is. Like, that's how you find that glory in your tribulations. That's how you find that glory in your trials and your obstacles. That's how you can find the joy in the midst, like we talked about before. Is where be mindful of your focus. And when we're thinking positive, it's not where we're just tooting, just blowing steam. And we're just saying, well, I'm going to be positive. And I don't even know why I'm going to be positive. No, you have a reason. You know why. Because you have two options. You have these two things that could very well happen. And then on top of that, like it's a different layer on top of that, is that that everything is working out for your good. So that, like, we can find joy in this. All right. So I'm going to go through all of your comments as soon as I get off of here. And y'all know I respond to every single one. I try to hit everybody. So I'm going to do that. And I like that you highlighted that. Yes, Job lost it all, but God restored him double. That's just what it is. So we can't be caught up in the moment of our pain and what's going on, of where we're like, oh, I lost this, I'm losing money, and this is what it is, and I just can't see, to where we can't see past it, to where we can't see what is in store for us after this. We can't get caught up in the moment. We can acknowledge the moment, just like we can acknowledge our thoughts. We can acknowledge the feelings. Like, look, it's pain. Things happen. Things happen. If it's where you experience a moment of disappointment, you experience financial loss, you experience personal loss, those aren't things that you're getting through and you're just like, woo, yes, I ain't got no money. Nobody dances for that. Nobody gets excited about that. And that's okay. That's okay. There's not something, this isn't something that you should feel shame for. Just like we said, those feelings are okay. You are human. Allow yourself to feel those things, but know that you're going to be restored. The things that you've lost, you're going to be restored. Know that there's purpose in your pain, and find joy in that. So, y'all, I have never gone over, and now I'm 4 minutes over. Look at y'all. Y'all got me over my time, but it was good. So, y'all, we lighten it up on Wednesdays. I'm telling you, if y'all don't go into work and if you don't go into work feeling like strong and pumped up and stuff, I don't know what you're doing. Because you need to get into it. Get into it. And if y'all know anybody who needs the encouragement in the middle of the week, that's when it tends to go down. So if you know anybody who needs this and who could benefit from this, have them, connect them with me. I do this on YouTube and LinkedIn. I do this on YouTube for a reason, because LinkedIn be hating and they don't like you to share anything outside of LinkedIn. So I had to do it on YouTube. So we're going to share this thing and, do that. Spread the word. Look, this is what we're here to do. We building up his kingdom. Okay. All right. So share it. Let people know that this is what we do on Wednesday mornings. Get into it And I'm going to see y'all next week. All right? Be ready. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.